Mic'd up.
Boys and girls, children of all ages, act like you know it's going down.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the first a la carte version of Yankees Coast to Coast. In other words, unscheduled. We are going to do this. Thursday night's going to be a set time, our usual 7 o'clock, Eastern time. And anyway, I want to thank you all for coming out and listening, or if you're on YouTube, we very much appreciate your input, your comments, your love, your hate is okay too. What the heck?
There were some guys who hated you. I told them that they should comment. They didn't do it. So
Yeah.
let's get right to it there, sir. In recent weeks, I've spoken to a large number of former and current Yankees, spanning several eras, to elicit perspective on our longstanding facial hair and grooming policy. And I appreciate their earnest and varied feedback. These most recent conversations are an extension of an ongoing internal dialogue that date back several years. Ultimately, the final decision rests with me, and after great consideration, we will be amending our expectations to allow our players and uniform personnel to have well-groomed beards moving forward. It is the appropriate time to move beyond the familiar comfort of our formal policy. So before we get to other people's opinions, let's have our opinions. What do you think, Adam?
I think the Yankees are
obviously not me, but
well. I mean, I just love the way he put it. It's such a didactic douchebag. I mean, it just to me, there's something in the way he states it. It's so classic Yankees, over the top, sort of grandiose, and it annoyed me just in the statement, though it was long in coming. I do believe that this is a necessary thing. I like the rule. I liked it. I've never felt that it was 100% legal. I always thought there was some argument to make, even though they are a private organization, that people have a right to do what they want and the way they look. I know in any company that I work with or involved with, I'm not allowed to tell anybody what they can wear and how they can look. So I think it's interesting that they decided to take risk of some kind of repercussion and perhaps die on this hill. But I do think that the time was right. That it was going to happen. Like I said, I do like it because I like the way it looks. I like the cleanness. I like the way the uniform looks. I don't like these ridiculous, Duck Dynasty things. These players look miserable in the summer. They look overheated. These guys in Philadelphia, I always feel that this guy looks like he's going to drop dead on the field on a 98-degree day. It makes me uncomfortable. And again, that's about me. I don't have any opinion otherwise. It's simply,
I just don't think. I think.
Cares?
Listen, this is it's a non-issue to me. I don't care about the rule. I care about the rule. It was a rule. It's up to the Steinbrenners to do it. I do, in the statement, while it was a little wordy and pedantic, as you said, I do think it was a good thing that he said that he's spoke to players of multiple eras, and he's spoken to players for several years about it.
Mm-hmm.
So at least it makes it sound like it wasn't one of these whiplash type decisions. What bothered me more than anything else, and this is one of the most painful sentences I will ever say. I agree with Stephen A. Smith. Why the hell did they need to have a press conference? Why did they need to have a press conference? Just put this out there and let it go.
But it's never that. It's always a sales technique. It's always pushing the brand. He thinks that this is, they believe that they are far more important in the world than they really are. They're important to Yankee fans, but they really think that they are special and they deserve. I think it's idiotic.
I find it amusing that idiots like us are dedicating a show to this issue. It actually goes to my point of how stupid we are as fans sometimes. That we care about this so much or don't care about it so much that it's all over the place. Everybody's talking about it. It's the number one baseball story. The same day that baseball has got the first spring training game, this is the biggest story, is the Yankees are going to allow beards. I don't get it. I think it goes back to what you said, that the Yankees think that they're bigger than the game and they needed to be on the back page, especially with, Soto making his appearance for the Mets. But I just think it just shows to show you how silly sports coverage has become.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's
agree.
now all about the personality. It's not about what's going on the field. It's about this kind of garbage. And
Yeah,
while I don't care about the policy one way or the other, um, the fact that let's use Devin Williams. We were talking about him briefly. Devin Williams came out today, had a great statement today. I thought he was well measured. I thought it was well thought out. I thought he did a great job of explaining. Hey, I came over here. I shaved it. I appreciated them talking to me. So he's one of the guys that they talk to because he's always been a bearded guy. And he said in the long run, it might have made a difference next year when he becomes a free agent. I thought that the way Devin Williams described it was outstanding. And, other players have come in. What do you think about some of the things you've heard out there besides my agreeing with Stephen A. Smith?
well, I mean, I think I think the Devin Williams statement says a lot. I think the Yankees have there is always a concern that a player isn't going to come or players are not happy with it and they may leave as a result of it. I think there's always been a small protest that every player, if they leave the Yankees immediately after going, and that means a mid-season trade. If the Yankees are playing, they get traded in June, July, whatever, and they move off to play with the Seattle Mariners. They come back the week after they've got a beard like down to here, and I think that's always been a little bit of a protest to it. I think that it's necessary in this day and age. I think it says a lot about the priorities. I wrote it in our text. Priorities, priorities, priorities. I mean, what matters most? You're telling me right now that the Yankees offer this guy, 10 million more per year. He's going to go play with somebody else because they're telling me he has to shave his face, shave the hair off of his face a couple times a week. I mean, how difficult can that be? But listen, again, I don't know how these guys think in a whole new way. I mean, they're just not, on another level. Their mindset, that the ego that goes to being this person and being this great athlete, the best at something in the world, affords you something that maybe I don't understand because there's nothing in the world
Well,
aside from being a hell of a great guy uh,
I
that
think
I could do
I
that
think
well.
it's that the hill that anybody wants to die on is the ability to grow a beard. I thought Justin Turner had the best reaction,
Oh
who has
boy,
nothing to do with
another
the
another
Yankees.
beardo,
But
beardo.
but you saw what his reaction was. He says that they changed the policy because Alex Verdugo was so ugly without his beard.
It's true, but no, I don't agree. He was just ugly, period. Because I thought he looked terrible with the beard. He just looked like he was a 7-year-old. He
Yes.
literally looked like prepubescent baseball player. I've never seen
Well,
anything like it. Like a high school,
I'll leave the
like a,
prepubescent to you because
you
it
know,
seems to be. I would have thought that would be more of a Kramer thing, but that's okay.
yes. No,
Yeah,
but
but
I
Justin
think let's
Turner, I
give
love the
credit.
fact that Justin Turner stuck his nose into it
You gotta
after he
love it.
signed his $6 million deal with the Cubs. Of
Yeah.
course, Verdugo is still a free agent. Nobody signed him, and maybe it's because he doesn't have a beard. Ooh. The biblical stories about the beard, right?
Well, listen, I'm going to read one right now. Do you mind
Yeah, go
if
ahead.
I share the one of my all-time favorites to this day was Lou Piniella, the great Sweet
Oh,
Lou,
I love this one.
going up to Steinbrenner and saying, "Hey, why do you let me grow my hair long? I mean, look, Jesus had a beard. Jesus had long hair." And of course, he says, "See that pond across the way?" He looked out over at Steinbrenner Field at the time. He said, "You can wear your hair. You can wear your hair and your beard as long as you want if you can walk across that water." So I love that. I think that is just classic Steinbrenner, classic Yankee lore. So what can you do?
I mean, Austin Wells also had an interesting reaction because he said, when he got drafted by the Yankees and came into the organization, he had a beard because, he probably was growing a beard at age 6. I don't know that there was any prepubescent period for Wells, but he said he felt like it was an honor and an honor to be a Yankee and to shave his beard. So, from that perspective, he never thought of it as any other way than, hey, I'm a Yankee and this is the way, the Yankee way, and this is the way you do it. And I thought that was an interesting take on things. The other thing that I
Yeah.
thought really, really interesting, and I wrote this in one of our text strings that we have, since we have 87 different groups we are part of, not that anybody wants to make comments on our show, is Garrett Cole was the guy who came down with Cashman and made the announcement. I find that amusing. Now, yes, Cole had a beard when he
Yeah,
was with
for years.
Houston, but isn't this really for Judge? He's the captain. at least let him have a seat at the table when they come down and they talk to the rest of the team. It makes me question a little bit about some of the feelings of the leadership the Judge is providing outside of what he does on the field.
But no, I don't agree. I think that there are clear captains on this team. He is not the only one. I think that I've always thought the pitchers should have a leader as well because they come from a different mindset.
Right. CC used to be the leader, and
yeah, so I think
he was the leader of
that's
the team. I don't care what anybody says, but CC really turned that team around when he,
Yeah.
mentally and
But I think
physically the
Cole
way
is
they
that
presented
guy.
themselves. But
Also,
even though Jeter
Cole, it
was the
was an
captain,
X, wasn't it? An X. So if it wasn't a statement, was it, or was it just him doing something on X? I don't know if he
no,
cleared.
Cole and
Cole.
Cashman.
Did Cole actually clear it?
Cole and Cashman are the ones that came down and announced it to the team.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I thought that. Yeah, but that's interesting. I don't know why they did that, but listen, Judge did respond. He said he's blown away. He never thought they would do it. I mean, he made a comment. He just commented as if he was speaking to the press, but
he said he's not going to grow a beard. Not that it's hard to tell if he can or not, but he said he's not going to do it.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, the more idiotic this is because we're just wasting 10 minutes of our time, 11 minutes here talking about something that really is going to be forgotten very quickly. I'm just wondering, let's talk about who's going to grow beard first.
Well, let me just get Nick Swisher also chimed in, and Nick Swisher, we've both been around a few times.
Mr. One of the great guys.
He has an interview that he did about it, and he basically, without the Swisher energy that he usually has, and he referred to the Yankees as we, which was caught off guard. He said we as an organization as part of the interview, but he said that he doesn't understand why a player would be so beholden to the beard. Is obviously I'm paraphrasing. Be so beholden to the beard that he wouldn't come play for the organization because of how great it is. Before we do get to who's going to grow beard and who's not going to grow beard, we have a couple of comments we did get from friends of the show. This one's from John Rieger, a PGA and Hall of Famer. So let's see what he has to say.
Well, I'm glad the Yankees have decided to join this century when it comes to culture and fashion. But I'm interested, what's the pitching and hitting going to be like this year? What's their chances for winning a pennant, maybe a World Series?
Wow.
Well, now that they have beards,
John asking
now that they have beards, Samson was much better with his beard in the Bible. So I'm assuming the Yankees will be better and they can make the World Series.
Yeah, they will be significantly better this year. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can beat the Dodgers, but the one thing, they may be a little heavier so maybe a little slower running around the bases with their facial hair. They'll be more distracting, to especially the pitchers. I think they're gonna be fine. I think they're gonna be fine. I still to this day I do believe and it's all about injuries again, and we're seeing that's going to be a problem.
Starting pitching depth is scary bad.
Yeah, but they are a better all-around team than they were October 30th or whatever that day was. So
I agree. I think in the 162 game season, having the length of the lineup that they have, assuming everybody's healthy, replacing Verdugo with Dominguez, Bellinger, and Goldschmidt being in the lineup, having Jazz for the full season, having hopefully a better Wells and a better Velpe, getting rid of the prima donna that is Gleyber Torres. I think offensively, over the course of the 162 games, I think they're going to be fine. The question is in the playoffs, one guy can step up and be a stud and carry a team. And if I had to pick one of these guys, I would pick Soto to be the guy that would step up and make them a better team. But you never know. Yankees still think the playoffs are a crapshoot. I don't think it's a crapshoot, but that's for another day. The other comment we have is from our buddy Rob Weber.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, personally, I don't care if a guy has a beard or not. Whatever makes him comfortable and makes him play the best, I'm all in on that. I am curious if this change in policy will help the Yankees attract free agents. We never know if they lost out on folks who didn't want to shave a beard or a mustache off. It'll be interesting to see next off season.
It's a good question. Nobody's stupid enough to say that that's the reason that they didn't do it, because they'd probably have a hard time getting another contract. Also, people have to know that by saying something like that, and I say this whenever somebody blasts another team, you never know when you're going to be on that team's list.
You betcha.
And
Look at Vlad. Vlad's already backtracking for him.
Yeah.
Will never play for the Yankees.
and
even
thanks
before
to
the
his
beard
father.
thing.
His father was the one who told him. And I heard this conversation. I heard somewhere that he basically sat him down and said, this is my life. This was my problem. This was my problem when I was a player, not yours.
Right.
Because
Vlad said he wasn't going to do it because his dad had a problem with the Yankees, and then Vlad Senior said, "Well,
smart dad.
Well, it's smart business. I actually don't want the Yankees to sign." We'll get to this later, but
we'll do that.
Anything
We're,
more than 4
we're
years,
months away from that.
Yeah, anything more than 4 years for Vlad is kind of scary because you never know what kind of shape he's going to show up in.
Yeah, no,
but
we don't. We'll talk
there.
about that at the trade deadline.
It is what it is, and there are guys that the Yankees wouldn't even pursue. But then again, you got guys that came to the Yankees. Look at Captain Caveman Johnny Damon.
That's an example that I wanted to talk about because I think that here's a guy who his identity. I really don't think Devin Williams' identity was tied to his beard.
No, but Johnny Damon was.
Absolutely.
He was the original Captain Caveman, more so than Brandon Marsh.
I mean, completely. And the fact that he showed up to the press conference for his signing without a beard, we all wondered what would happen. And he came in clean at Marine, hair cut down, and we've talked to him before. He was proud to be here. He was proud to be a Yankee.
Exactly.
He wanted to settle in. There was a tradition that he respected, and I think a lot of guys do. And I think the problem is that maybe that's lost on some people now. I think that's something that's another problem about players today. I hate to be the not on my lawn old guy, but maybe that's just who they are now. I don't know.
That's it goes back to what John Rieger just said. Is they're moving into the 21st century. Is that the mentality? I mean, there's some things that are about the 21st century that are really good, and then there's other things that are not really good. And if you want to win, you get the best contract with the best team you can get.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Being an actual attorney, I am not a member of the bar.
You just play one on TV.
I just play one on TV. Can I ask you a question? Is there what is the legal issue?
There's two sides to the legal issue. One is it's a private company, as you said earlier. It's a private company, and they can set the rules with regard to that.
Mm-hmm.
However, and I would say with the current administration and the current Supreme Court, I think that they're going to let the companies set their own rules. However, there is an argument to be said that it's a free speech issue, and
also it's free, and also 14th Amendment.
That trust exemption, they do get some benefits from the federal government, which in the past has said that the federal government can stick their nose in and limit some of the freedoms that a private company would have. So I still think it's a private company, and they had the right to do whatever they wanted to do with regard to the policy. It never came up, so it's not really an issue. But is there an argument to be had? Yeah, I said, but how the political winds fly is how that decision would be made.
Don't you think it's interesting that nobody has ever pushed the issue?
Nobody's ever challenged it because it's not. Just like this conversation is not worth a damn. It's not worth. If somebody brings a lawsuit about growing a beard at a company and it's not for a religious reason, right? Because let's say they signed a Hasidic Jew or a Islamic fundamentalist to be on the team, or even better, a Sikh who can't cut his hair. That's why they wear the
turban.
Hat, the turban. Their hair is in there. They don't cut their hair, the men, ever. What would have happened if the Yankees or any team was to sign a guy like that? And the Cincinnati Reds still have their no beard policy. This hasn't gone away. So it's a question of, if it's a religious freedom issue, the Yankees would not have had a choice but to let the guy go. But I don't see too many Hasidic Jews. I don't see too many Islamic fundamentalists.
Why is that? Why are there no Hasidic baseball players?
So it doesn't happen.
I don't get it. It seems to me perfectly logical that a Hasidic Jew, a man who has studied, or a woman who have studied, the Torah professionally for 50 years or 25 years, is not decided to play every other minute of their life playing baseball.
Listen, we've worked events. We worked for events for Double Play, and there were plenty of Hasidic Jews there.
And they had fastball.
They were some of the biggest fanatical Yankee fans as anybody we've ever met, including ourselves. your religion has nothing to do with whether you're a baseball fan of the
It's
Yankees and
well, it's about
fanatic or
having
not.
time to focus to do it. So
Right.
certain
Well,
religion,
yeah, I would think being a more religious person that occupies more of their time than it does probably for you and I. But
maybe.
you know, if that's what their hobby is or anybody's hobby is, it doesn't matter what your religion is. Doesn't matter what gender you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be a Yankee fan. I mean, I know, you know, my Aunt Tina is a crazy Yankee fan.
Yeah, but
Um,
Aunt Tina hit a fastball 90 miles an
Actually,
hour?
if I was to bet, Aunt Tina was a great athlete.
We're gonna get a text from one of your family members, aren't we?
Yeah, she was. I mean, she's a great athlete. I mean, and her kid. I mean, granted, and her kids. You know, Matthew. He's a great athlete. Matthew's son is, you know, throwing 90 miles an hour as a junior.
Right.
Her daughter played basketball at NYU, and her other son is 6'9" and played volleyball at Brown, Dartmouth. I forgot where he went, but he played volleyball. By the way,
Yeah.
he's 6'9", and his wife is like 6'3", so their kids are going to be monsters.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's get
So
on
let's see
to
who's going to have a beard. You
who's
name
gonna
one,
be.
and then I'll name one. Who do you think's going to have a beard?
I would guarantee. Well, I mean, we're not gonna say we know that Smith's gonna have a beard, but
Who?
I mean Williams is gonna have a beard.
Oh.
That's a guarantee because that's it's he already has one. He's starting to grow his right now.
Yeah.
But I do think that that we're
You're
gonna
going out
see.
on a limb with that first. The other one that I'll go out on a limb with, and I don't think it's much of a limb, is going to be Carlos Rodon as well.
Yeah, yeah, because he had that, you know, sort of 80s Magnum PI porno star mustache.
Yes.
It just wasn't cutting it. You could tell he wasn't happy. So I would say that we're looking at
Who's next? Give me another player who you
it's going to
think
be
is gonna
Cole. Cole will have a beard.
I think Cole's going to have one as well.
Yeah. Cole's going to do a beard, but so there's one and so both of us are agreeing that Cole's
going to be a guy.
And definitely what's his name? Definitely Wells.
I think who?
Wells will have a beard.
Well, I don't know if Wells will. Catching, it's hard to do with a beard.
It's hard. I bet he did all the way through. Didn't he do it through the minors?
No, you can't. As a Yankee,
Is it an organizational rule? Yeah, I guess you're right.
Rule. I would think one of the guys that might grow a beard is going to be Jazz.
Reggie?
No, Jazz.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not sure if there's a lot of follow. I wonder if he's follicularly challenged.
Follicularly challenged.
Follicularly.
I think you should very quickly file the paperwork to copyright that term before somebody takes it. The way that Pat Riley owns three-peat, you should own follicularly challenged.
So it's no. I heard my wife yelled at me. It's follically.
I know it's follically challenged, but that doesn't mean that you can't make up your own word. Three-peat was a made-up word by Pat Riley.
That's right.
Follicularly challenged.
Follicularly. It's not easy to say. Try to say it 5 times fast without throwing up.
I can't say anything 5 times fast, and fast and do not go in the same sentence. So I think another guy that I think is going to have a beard is going to be Dominguez.
He can't grow a beard. He's 16.
Are you kidding? The man looked like he was 25 when he was 16.
He probably is 30. That's our problem. We probably didn't find out.
I also think another outfielder, I think Grisham will have a beard.
Yeah, I could see that. The way to look is go look at their winter
previous stops in baseball.
Yeah, and I think Stanton seems to always have facial hair in the winter.
Well, Stanton has his little soul patch because
I've never seen Judge have facial hair, so I wonder if that's why he didn't come forward because he'd be embarrassed.
Speaking of not having facial hair, I wish Derek Jeter would shut the hell up. I don't care. I'm sick and tired of Derek Jeter. All right.
Wow! Wow, you're going.
I know this is a
excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for this. Is the opinion of this is not the opinion of our show.
Tanton Sturts said it best. Jeter will never put on a Yankee uniform ever again. That particular fact has held true and has ruined Old Timers Day. I'm done. He
comes now every year and he wears a uniform. He just sits in a chair.
Right, and he doesn't put on the pants. He doesn't.
None of them with the pants on anymore. I hate that. They used to all do that.
It's stupid. It's
and you'd see like old Casey coming out with his belt up to I remember when you'd see Yogi would come out, run out on the field at 80 years old, like his pants hanging up to his nipples, but he looked happy.
Listen, I'm not going to say a word about that because that age is fast approaching for us. Joe Osteen, I'm impressed that 137 years old doesn't wear his pants up under his nipples. That's the one thing about his age that he doesn't show it.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I'm sick. I don't want to hear anything. And the Derek Jeter posting a picture of him with a beard and what he looked like.
Shut
I don't
up,
need
Bert.
to forget it.
Shut
I don't
up.
need it. You're not a Yankee.
Shut up.
You're not part of the organization. I know you're Mr. Yankee. I got into the Hall of Fame with everybody's vote except one. To that. That's what I got to say.
We're gonna get banned.
He ruined Old Timers Day. Bottom line.
I
Because they
agree.
can't play a game and have him not play. So instead of that, they just said, no game. And
We are going to take a lot of heat for this, buddy. I hope you know.
I don't care. Put it this way, anybody who wants to defend Derek Jeter as a player, I am all for it. But if you want to defend what Derek Jeter has done as far as ruining Old Timers Day, which was one of my favorite games and favorite days to go to a game with my family growing up, used to go with my father, his brother, his sister, their his sister's 2 kids, his brother's 4 kids, and me and my 2 brothers. And those were the rare games that my grandfather would be there with us, and potentially my mother's, my aunts, and my grandmother, and we'd have 13, 14, 15 tickets. Everybody would go to Old Timers Day.
What a horror.
And Derek Jeter ruined it. My kids will never get to go see an Old Timers Day because
just the thought of all 13 Millers and Bernsteins and Berkowitzes or whatever your names are together in one row. I would feel so bad for everybody sitting in front.
It wouldn't be a row.
Or
We'd
directly
stack
behind.
We'd stack it appropriately.
You'd stack?
Yeah,
I
so
see.
you
would take over.
Of course, you can't talk to anybody.
Yeah, I think you would buy a section, tell everybody else to vacate. There'd be like hazmat signs up.
Yes, but if you want to defend Jeter as the player and how he carried himself on the field, I agree with you. But don't tell me that right now Derek Jeter's doing anything for the Yankees or the Yankee fans if he kills Old Timers Day.
Yeah, he killed Old Timers. Killed it dead.
Because Rivera would be out there pitching. Nelson would go out there pitching. Most of these guys that we see, Swisher would go out there and play.
Listen, Duque pitched well.
Duque would go out there. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Duque's having some problems with his knees now. Maybe that's it, or hips.
Well, it must be from coaching us at fantasy camp. So that goes without saying. So, but I don't think I don't want to hear it about that crap. So I mean, Gossage,
right.
Look at Gossage. Wait, look at Gossage's mustache when he was on the team. It went like this. It was almost, and it went like. Ooh,
they
right?
made exceptions. I'm sure it was
an interesting mustache.
Yeah, but it is what it is. The rule is done. Shut up. Let's play baseball. It'll be fun to see what these guys do. Who's going to
be dedicated a show to this? Pisses me off.
I like the fact that the one thing that they did is they control they're going to control it. No Duck Dynasty, and I really think that's great. It's got to be kept neatly. And the question is, who's going to be the neatness police? Are they going to have Steve Donahue?
Does Aaron Boone grow a mustache?
Oh God, I hope not. I hope not. And by the way, our rule, we have a team rule now. We have a no hair policy on the Riverdale Yankees, our over 55 teams, not because we require it, but because pretty much everybody except Mike Miller, and a little bit to an extent me, have no hair anymore. So it doesn't matter anyhow. So we are a balding bunch.
Guys, you guys can always play shirtless, and then they all have hairy backs. But that's a different story.
There is hair growing in places that I didn't know.
That's it. We got to end. We're done. I can't go any further.
All right, next talk. We'll be back talking about baseball. Everybody have a great night. Thank you so much for participating. To my beloved friend Michael, thank you.
God help us all if this is what we care about.
It is. We need to be helped. Have a good night.